Hey, what's up, guys? I'm home, and I'm glad to be home. I don't get to spend a whole lot of time home, but I love when I get the chance to be home. And I'm excited because we got a huge Thursday night, so I just jumped on the Mad Mike for a quick minute here just to holler at you about. I don't know if we are grasping the enormity of tonight's game. I'm talking about this Thursday night game. I know you look and say, Denver going into New Orleans. I mean, well, what's that? On a face that sounds like one thing, and maybe you say that's not anything. A big thing, especially since neither one of them are winning right now. But this is the return of Sean Payton. You guys, I guess some of you guys, maybe a lot of you guys are too young to understand what Sean Payton meant to New Orleans. And the whole story behind Sean Payton coming to New Orleans. I guarantee you they will have everybody in that house tonight. It will be rocking off the chain trying to beat Sean Payton. Let me give you guys a quick look back, is what I shall call it. Let's peek back at what New Orleans was. And I remember it vividly, and it so impressed and stained my heart and stained my brain that it was part of my Hall of Fame speech. So all of it that I'm going to share with you meant something to me, and ultimately ended up in my Hall of Fame speech. Now go through this. You guys go back in 2005, devastation in the name of Katrina hits New Orleans. And it was devastation. It was one of the worst disasters that anyone had ever had to go through, endure, and suffer. People were literally stranded in New Orleans. People were literally getting on boats because everything was flooded, working their way, rowing, paddling, trying to get to other people, to save people, to help people. It was dark. It was no electricity there. It was chaos. Chaos had ensued upon those good people in New Orleans. It was chaos. And you couldn't, a lot of us couldn't do anything but watch. Everybody tried to pitch in and help out. Everybody. And that was a good thing that you get to see sometimes in natural disasters and disasters like that. You get to see the good of people in this country because everybody comes out and tries to help, and everybody was sending all kinds of aids, truckloads of this, everything. It was devastation. I'm talking about devastation in 2005. And this area had gone through that for a while. As they continue to try to rebuild their lives, man, the water didn't recede for a long time. People had to flee to Dallas, all those surrounding areas. We had to welcome people in here and try to help and put them up as they try to rebuild their lives. The saints were, I guess the ain'ts, were not very good at the time. And when Katrina came through in 2005, wiped everything out, they just were not very, very good at the time. In 2006, when they were trying to start rebuilding New Orleans again, because it took a while to even start saying, let's start trying to rebuild. Houses were devastated, everything was gone. In 2006, when they started talking about let's rebuild, the New Orleans Saints made a change. They went out and hired a head coach named Sean Payton, who came to New Orleans. Then they went out and signed in free agency Drew Brees, Drew Brees was coming off a shoulder injury and people were kind of hesitant, but they signed to Drew Brees. And I vividly remember watching these guys when they first got the job going to New Orleans. And they were touring some of the horrific areas and some of the devastation and seeing what people had endured and what some people were still going through. And it was like these two had made a pact that they were going to come together, and through football and certainly goodwill and good acts, they were going to rebuild this city. Rebuilding a city is more than just putting brick on top of another damn brick. Rebuilding the city is rebuilding the spirit, the heart, because it was all ripped out. Everything was ripped out. I remember watching Drew Brees in an interview talk about it. He was emotional as he toured the area. And he talked about signing with this team and wanting to bring this region back. It was beautiful, people. It was beautiful. I remember watching thinking, wow, football. Football is this? That team, every time they played, and they were not even playing in New Orleans. They had to go play somewhere else. And they were playing to give peace and relief to all those people that had suffered horrific things, and they were caring about the people. It was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. And you knew that these two were connected, Sean Payton, Drew Brees, in the rebuilding of this city. I remember when, after all of that, it was a Monday night game. We were returning NFL football. And they had a Monday night game. I was working with ESPN. And there were still questions if it should play, if the game should be there, and all of that with all the devastation that was still going on around the city. But they held the game. And, oh my God, I was broadcasting that game. I've never seen anything like it. I was there early because, we do the show. I did the pre-show. So I'm on 3 hours before the game. It was packed. I've never seen so many people outside of a stadium in my life. It was packed. They were there hours before the game, and they stayed hours after the game. I literally watched in that stadium as people came together looking for one another, looking at one another, saying, oh my God, you made it, all crying and embracing one another at a football game. It was absolutely amazing to see. In 2007, I went in the Hall of Fame. And I was so touched and so impressed with what I saw football do that night, and how football brought people together. How football overrode everything, anything that made a difference, and just brought everybody back together. That night in that stadium, watching people embrace each other and cry like, oh my God, I don't know if you made it or not, because they really did not know. Oh, it was, well, I'm telling you, in my speech I said, this is the greatest game, and don't tell me it's just a game. I said, do not tell me this is just a game, because I watched this game. I watched it build cities, save cities. I watched it bring people together like never before. It was one of the most moving experiences in my life that Monday night. In New Orleans, that's going to be the backdrop for the game. I got lost in the story because I remember so much of it and the pictures are so vivid in my mind, but that's the backdrop tonight in New Orleans. That game's going to be insane. Ultimately, those two delivered Super Bowl 44 to New Orleans. You go through devastation in 05. You start back trying to rebuild in 06, and you win a Super Bowl in 09. My God. I was on TV the next day. I was at that Super Bowl in Miami. I interviewed Reggie Bush and Kim Kardashian, all right there, you know, on set after they won the Super Bowl. The next day, all the papers in New Orleans sold out immediately. That Monday paper, out immediately, gone. They had to reprint Monday paper again, Tuesday, sold out again. That's how much it meant. Those people had gotten the spirit of their city back. Katrina snatched life out of everybody. Super Bowl 44. Drew Brees and the man returning to New Orleans tonight breathed life back into that city when they delivered that Super Bowl 44 championship. That city was proud again. It was back to being New Orleans. It was bigger than building the bricks. You build a spirit back, the bricks will go up. You just building bricks with no spirit, you hope to finish. But when the spirit of that city is back, oh, ain't nothing gonna stop the bricks from going up. That's what you're seeing tonight. I got too deep into that. I'm gonna get out of that because I'm gonna stay on that theme of the return. I can't wait to watch that game tonight. But ultimately, we can extrapolate that over what's going on a little bit this weekend because they just mentioned it. Russell Wilson will return back to the starting lineup. At least that's what I just heard Mike Tomlin talk about. I heard him say it. Yes. And I'm not, and listen, everybody talking about, man, you're 4-2 and Justin Fields doing pretty good. Why would you change anything? Why would you make any changes? I'm okay with him making some changes. And I heard his answer, and he's right. He says, we're not setting it ablaze right now. And we owe it to everybody to try to explore and get be best team we can be. Russell Wilson has had some great years in this league, and you got to see what he offers. You got to see what he offers, especially when you're sitting at 20 points a game. That's what they're averaging right now, 20 points a game. That's 18th in the National Football League. I don't know how far you're going, averaging only 20 points a game. And you're averaging 187 yards passing. That's 26th. I don't know how far you're going with those two numbers right there. Now, the good thing is, which is not so bad, is 131 yards rushing. You see, I think that's about 8th in the league. That's not bad. Now, here's the kicker. In the decision, they're pondering. 185 yards. Can I get that out of Russell Wilson? I believe you can. You can get 185 yards out of Russell Wilson. 20 points, can you get that out of Russell Wilson? I believe you can. You can get that out of Russell Wilson. Now, 131 yards rushing, can I get that out of Russell Wilson? I don't know if I can get that out of Russell Wilson. I can get some scramble plays and some positive yardage made by the quarterback, but not what Justin Fields get. That's 131. That's eighth in the league right now because Justin Fields is a big part of that. So I'm gonna deduce a little. I'm gonna lose a little bit of rushing, and hope my other backs can pick it up. Russell will give me some little scramble yards, but I'm gonna give him the opportunity to give me more than 185 yards passing and more than 20 points. And I understand that. I understand that. I have no issue with what he's trying to do. He's trying to find out. He's trying to find out the same thing New York, who don't know they're trying to find out. New York, really, y'all trying. You brought back Devontae Adams. Now we gonna see. We gonna see. You trying to find out if you can get the Green Bay Packers of Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams combination. And right now, Mike Tomlin want to know. He wants to know, can I get the old let Russ cook Seattle? That Seattle Russ. If I got that, and I can put that with my defense, I got to at least explore the possibility. So he's going to explore the possibility. Now, my third return, I called this out because on another show I do, I took the Eagles -3 because they're going against the Giants this week. I think that was the line, Eagles -3. I'll stick with it. But at the time, I didn't know that this return was going to happen. Malik Neighbors has just been cleared of concussion protocol, and I'm going to imagine he plays, which makes this a different football game. Philadelphia Eagles, in the return of Saquon Barkley to New York, they didn't look great early on in that game. And I was feeling comfortable when Malik Neighbors were out because Daniel Jones don't look great without Malik Neighbors. But with Malik Neighbors, he becomes a lot better quarterback. They become a lot better offense. And they also become a lot tougher out for Philadelphia. I'm gonna stay with where I went with the picks, but I'm gonna put my eyes on this. All 5 of my eyes. Y'all know when I say all 5, that means I'm watching this shit closely. All 5 on that. I really like that kid, Malik Neighbors, man. Yeah, he's a beast and a go-getter. Now, my last return is this before I go to watch this game. It's just between us. I'm just dropping this. I'm struggling over here. I'm struggling. I have an appearance. So appearance is tomorrow, Friday. And then I have appointment here Saturday. And you know, my team plays Saturday in Louisville. And I'm sitting here on Thursday. I'm looking at the Cowboys and saying, I don't know. And I'm grabbing a hold of Miami and I gotta ride this thing out. It's the best chance I got this year having me some glory. I gotta ride the Miami thing out. So now I'm sitting here and I told y'all I'm superstitious and I'm saying, Michael, do you get your black ass up and go get on the airplane? But I got business. I got appointments to make. I got appearances to make. And okay, if I do that, then I might have to get a private plane to get there. And I don't even fly private. I'm so damn scared to fly private. Boy, but this one of them times. You know, as I sit there, think about my school, Miami, and what the U means, and how long we've been going through this and fight for this. Oh my God, I'm getting emotional here. I'm like, as hard as we've been going through this and fighting for this, you know, and it's the U back and how hard. Every year we go back, legend camps, I talk to these young kids, talk about family, we talk about brotherhood, we talk about if you ever need us, we'll be there. And now these kids out on the field doing what we've asked them to do and performing and getting down. I don't know, man. I just feel funny about not being there, you know, because we told them we're going to be there. And I think when I show up, they say, oh, you show up again. It's like, boy, that kind of shows them how proud we are of what they're doing. You know, it wasn't just talk that we were talking when we were talking about it. It means something. I'm sorry. Yeah, that it means something. You know what I mean? So now, after all of that, and those dudes working hard, and I stay here, and just, you know I got other business, but I do the other business, then did what I say to them when I said, man, you know, then I feel like I got to be there. You know what I mean? I should be there with them. I want them to know how much it means to all of us, that they're doing what they're doing. We always talk about they don't know, but if we show up, then they know. You know? Yeah. I don't know. I didn't mean to get into all that. Shit. I tell you what I'm about to do. I'm about to call one of my assistants and work on that damn flight. That's what I'm about to do.